The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good afternoon from TFNN. Welcome to the June 29th fantastic Friday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And of course, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life happens for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Today, you and I, we get to go check out the circumstance of these markets. We get to go figure out what the bulls and the bears, what the buyers and the sellers are communicating to you and I just past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here, and more importantly, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to give us a call, 877-927-6648. If you can't call in, you can always send me an email, steve@tfnn.com. Inside that subject heading, put radio show question if you would. Of course, inside the Tiger's Den, well, any ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on fantastic, fabulous Friday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, the Dow is trading up about 252 points. That's about all that I can tell you. Life happens for us. And just before we came on the air, my data feed, which comes from eSignal, is down. That means I don't have enough time to actually call them, figure out what's going on. I've tried just about everything. As you can see, I'm coming to you live. That's coming through the internet. All my other systems are working just fine. The problem is that trying to provide you with an updated chart out here is going to be basically impossible. But I do have a few charts that are up on our screen. What I'm going to defer back to while we're going on, I'll be multitasking, trying to continuously log in just in hopes that maybe they've somehow fixed something on their end or are trying to change folks over to different file servers, whatever it might be. But what I can do for you is at least review my newsletter. Because the newsletter is very encompassing, and so there's plenty of charts that you and I can take a look at, and it will at least provide you with what to be watching for the day. So first, my apology to subscribers, because normally I don't really share the newsletter, but I don't have any other options as we speak right now. I don't have a good option, but we're gonna go with this now. First, the chart that we're looking at up on our screen here, it's actually was a live chart, I'm thinking as of about 10 to noon, or 10 to 1, 5 to 1, something along those lines. But what you're looking at here, you're actually looking at a bar chart. And we looked at this yesterday. We had some callers. We had one emailer asking about TNA. Was there any hope? And that question then required you and I to go take a look at the equity futures contract for the ES, the NQ, for the YM, for the Dow, and for the Russell 2000. And we said, yeah, all hope is not lost, because what was going on at exactly 2 o'clock was the market was generating bottom signals. If we take a look at the 5-hour time frame chart, which is what we have up on our screen right now. In the 2 o'clock session, in fact, I had given us very specific number. It was Stevie's red line number. Here's the 2 o'clock bar. You'll see at the very bottom of my screen, my cursor says 1400. It was truly at 2 o'clock. It closed above Stevie's red line. It closed above that little red, well, first there's a red dash line. That's a Tom DeMark setup trend line. That can act as support, did act as support. You'll also see kind of like a red dottish line out there at the 70-20. It says 70-20.78 on my my scale over on the right-hand side. That's the bottom of the TAS market profile, and you'll see a black line. You'll see kind of a black squiggly type line. That's priced out at 71.2088. That is actually the top of the market profile. Normally, you and I, we take a look at an entire box. We'll look at the center line of the box, the bottom, and the top out here, and we'll use that to try to identify whether it's a bullish or a bearish structure. For this specific purpose, and trying to identify whether this is more than just a range-bound rally, and what you're going to be looking for at the end of today's trading session is whether or not the NQ can close above 71.22 is what we'll call it. If price can close above 71.22, that tells us price is headed to 71.99, maybe even higher. Maybe even that this bottom that was just put in here inside the NQ is going to turn into a gigantic, did I say gigantic? I meant gigantic A to B equals CD pattern on the way up. Because quite frankly, the retracement from the lows out here, for those of you that like retracements, well, then you'll love this one. Because if you take a look at the lows from April 25th and you go all the way up to the highs out here on June 21st, you're going to see it did not make a 0.618 retracement. It's about a 50% retracement. And that, by the way, that April 25th level, that wasn't just something I pulled out of my hat. Even though I don't really wear a hat, it was just simply the last time that we saw that same bottoming Rhodes momentum indicator divergent signal. Now, that's a mouthful. If we go back to the lows here from April the 4th, and you go all the way up to the high from last Thursday, what you'll see it was only a 0.382 retracement. So at this stage of the game, is the market making an A to B equals CD to the upside or to the downside? Key level today to be watching inside the NQ is going to be 71.22. What happens if price doesn't close above it? Does that mean it's over? No, it doesn't. And of course, we'll need to see where price is trading at the end of the day. If we were to look at the ES mini, no idea where the equity futures contract is trading right now. I'm going to believe, based on the Dow being up 250, it's trading around 27.40, somewhere in that range. What you'll notice inside the ES mini, by the way, made the same pattern that the NQ did, a Stevie bottom pattern, your bottom pattern as well out there, the best bottoming signal and topping signal. And what you'll notice is price is trading above the top of its 5-hour box. That was priced at 27.26. We're trading around 27.40. So even if the NQ doesn't garner the strength, the ES mini is telling you this wants to trade up to the 27.55, 27.60. I missed it. It's traded at 27.40 and a quarter. Oh, man. Thank you, Mark, for being a wingman out there. So the ES mini is on its way higher. It should head up to the 27.55. Would not surprise me to actually see that take place by the end of today's trading session. And that's another 15, 14, or 15 points out there. But we're coming into a weekend. The sphincter muscle of the bears is going to start tightening, and they are going to have to make a decision. Do I take my profits? Yes. Do I take my profits, or do I hold this position going into the weekend? Look, if we didn't have all these bottoming signals, we didn't get to the one inside of the Dow, but here it is inside the Dow. By the way, the Dow equity futures contract would need to close over 24,507. We're not there just yet. It's tested it. But we'll go take a look at what the spot volatility index needs to do and anything else I can come up with as soon as we get back from this break. I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Steve takes your phone calls. Now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. So, my data feed's still not up at this stage here. So let's deal with, let's take a look at the newsletter. Let's take a look at Mastering Probability. So for those of you that have never subscribed, to get a feel for what it is that I do, which is basically I tell the story of the markets. I begin telling that story around 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, 6:30, just depends on what's going on, and in this case here, this is the front page of the newsletter. In the upper right-hand portion of the newsletter, because I have subscribers that are managing different areas of capital, long-term capital. So I've taken, in essence, the market and have divided into equity, which I'll just simply call the S&P, into commodity. We'll call that gold. That's so popular here at TFNN. And then with regard to fixed income, take a look at treasury bonds. And what I do is I provide each day a market outlook, a long-term outlook and an intermediate-term outlook for each three of those items out there. And you'll see that I've got here that long-term. So that means your long-term capital, you should absolutely be, with regard to your retirement funds, we're just into consolidation. You shouldn't be worried or concerned. What the market has provided to me is a price projection that price is headed up to, as soon as we break out of this consolidation, 3067. 3067 happens to be, although I can't show it to you, I know what it is. It's the top of the next horizontal trading range on a monthly basis for the S&P 500. Intermediate term, you'll see that yesterday we went back to bullish based upon the confirmed Rhodes momentum indicator signals. We just took a look at that for all four equity futures contracts on the 5-hour time frame. We actually, as soon as I got off the show at 2 o'clock, what we did was as soon as we got a close over the levels that I gave you, we went ahead and took action and went long. Now, we went long the NQ. We could have chosen many different indices. I chose the NQ for us to go long. Now, below, so the first paragraph really describes what it is that we did, whether there's any other action for us to go ahead and take today. And then what's below that is I created this system that I like to refer to as Bob, because what I've learned in talking to some of the folks that are newsletter subscribers, people that aren't newsletter subscribers, just talking about people in the market that have an interest in what it is that I do from a timing standpoint. Everyone has interest, but what we don't have enough of is time. And so certainly for me, I can and I do, in a shorter period of time, take those subscribers that are interested and get them focused, whether it's your workshops or the newsletter, because the newsletter is an education-based newsletter as well, is to teach them the actual tools and techniques that I use. There's no hocus pocus. There's nothing that's left out. It's all there, but it takes time for somebody to do that, and resources. Like, it would be good to have a data signal coming through so that could actually show you a chart, but you kind of get it out there. But there are others who just want to know what to do. I get that too, because that way you can go and work on that which you master. You have to rely upon me to master what I do, and then that's how you become the most efficient human being on the planet. So what I've done is I've created this Bob system, bullish or bearish. And what it does, it takes a look at various time frames and various instruments in order to be able to provide newsletter subscribers information that maybe is right there, but I didn't cover. Maybe they want to go long or short something, and they're trying to understand where's their support, where is their resistance, and so forth. And in a heartbeat, I'm able to provide that information through my bullish or bearish system. And that is known as Bob. In today's newsletter, I went ahead and put a number of Bob things. Now, I went on to take a look at gold. Gold should be up like about $2 or $3 right now, I'm assuming. And by the way, gold was actually trying to put out, it's not here. Here I'm just showing the 4 equity futures contracts. And yesterday at 2 o'clock, I was just simply taking a look at the 1 hour, 2 hour, 5 hour, and the daily time frame out here. And what's really cool about this system, especially for me, and especially for subscribers, is that for me to be able to, I know what patterns to look for, but in order to be able to go through all time frames, all instruments and so forth in a timely manner, it takes too much time. Now I've got one system, one window or multiple windows that I can go to, and it tells me exactly what's going on in the market, exactly when the markets are starting to generate bottoming signals. Now, in a market that was crushing lower during the week, we started getting these signals on Thursday. And so we began preparing both mentally and for the action that we were going to take, but we were waiting for confirmations out there. The bottoming signal, we actually have a bottoming. Here's a larger Bob. Here's a larger Bob system that shows many of the equity many futures out here. It's got the grains, it's got oil and gas, it's got metals, it's got some currency out here. So many different futures contracts, so to speak, or currency contracts out here. And it's providing you with the support and resistance. Now, in this case here, it's the daily support or resistance. It's also showing you the signals coming through on a 1 hour, 2 hour, 5 hour daily chart. And in the case of gold, earlier this morning, it was showing us a bottom signal. We now have a bottom confirmed signal inside of gold on a 5 hour basis. So similar to yesterday's ES Mini, NQ, Russell, and the Dow out there. And what I said in the newsletter, I pointed that out. And I said, look, gold has generated a 5 hour RMI signal. And on the daily time frame, it's in wave number 7. Wave number 7, singing in the key of G. So it is really trying to signal to us that it's trying to make a bottom. I said, you know what? But before we consider taking a long position in gold itself, I just want to start seeing price moving higher in all the major currencies. Nothing new to you, but I have the ability, obviously, to be able to track that. Now, my system went down. I can't tell you where we're going with regard to those major currencies. Yes, I know that the GDX mining equities have been moving higher out there, but they have been acting stronger than the metal itself. And what is really needed to occur, look, if gold has formed a bottom, that's an if, it's a possibility, Wave number 7, I've got a bottoming signal on a 5-hour chart out there. You start to see, and maybe the global flow of capital is subscribing to mastering probability. You should too, by the way. And because it's so easy to do for the next 30 days, you get to try that for basically for free. But regardless of that, if we start to see this move up, then where you want to be, I'll give away this trade secret. You don't want to be in the metal itself. You want to be in the mining sector. When bottoms are formed, the mining sector will outperform the movement of gold. So I'm talking about a percentage movement. I'm not talking about if you trade the futures contract and you've got a leveraged vehicle and so forth. But what I am saying to you is that the mining sector will outperform, as a percentage basis, the movement inside of gold out there. In really strong markets, and I am not saying we're there, but in really strong markets, the outperformance is like 5-1 for a long period of time out there. So just something to consider. We're not long gold, not just yet, but yes, I am looking based upon signals out there. For me, the confirmation comes, what's that guy and gal in Japan doing? Are they selling gold while I'm buying it? What are they doing over in Europe? What are they doing in London? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. This is Steve Rhodes with TFNN, doing the best we can without a data feed. How's it going so far? We'll be right back.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
TigerTV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So there's nothing in life that is faster than the speed of trust. And that's really the reason why I developed Bob out there, because in a newsletter, and unfortunately, if you're just joining us, my data feed signal is down. So the only way that I can fill up the hour here is provide you with great information, but it's going to be based on my newsletter that I put out today. And then I keep trying to get my system up, and if it does, we'll blow this off and go right to charts, other charts, and things of that sort. But here, T-bond futures. So I created Bob because, and one of the reasons why I wanted the folks at Timer Digest to begin tracking my newsletter signals, which they did last March, was in order to establish and create that credibility. Because you got a third party that is tracking the system, and that way it creates that speed of trust, right? Because if you are, and so what I created and what I did inside of Bob was use the exact tools that I use to make these market calls and to be able to identify. And that way, if you happen to be somebody who wants to trade something that I might not cover in the newsletter, but I do cover it because I go ahead and I provide you with Bob's information on multiple time frames, it becomes easy for you to make trading decisions. Just send me an email and ask me a question about something out there. And so that's really what the intention was, one of the intentions of Bob, because you may be thinking one thing or want to trade one thing, and you'd like me to cover it, and this way I'm able to do that. Now, this morning we changed to intermediate term neutral inside of T-bond futures. We had been long T-bond futures. We had been intermediate term bullish. But what you'll notice here is that, and this is our TAS market profiles, if you take a look at panel number 2 from the left, that's right here where my cursor's at. That's the daily panel. And when we went long, see that bullish structured box out there? So when we went long, when the newsletter changed to long for T-bond futures, our price target became the 245 area. It was actually 245 and 930 seconds. And what you can see is that over the course of the last 3 days, including today, price has gotten up to that level and hasn't been able to break above it. It does not mean it won't. I just simply, instead of going bearish, I could not go bearish today, go from bullish to bearish because price was still above Stevie's red line. It's not shown on this chart. It's shown on a different chart, but that therefore, maybe we're just right now we're just really consolidating sideways. If we get a close over the top of that box, I'll switch it back to bullish. But just in case that is significant resistance, which that's what it's communicating to you and I right now, we might see a pullback, and I would switch to bearish if price closed underneath Stevie's red line. I don't have that price for you at this moment. Do I? Yeah, I do. Well, I did. If we take a look, here is so when I yesterday, I kind of kind of got on a little pedestal here and just said clearly, I just wanted everybody to know that we are in a consolidating market. Now, that was just not something I pulled out of my arse. Okay, it is based upon those exact same tools that I use that has led to that number one market timer. And if you look at the monthly outlook in the top, using the ES mini here, you will see what it says is consolidating bull. That ain't no bull. That is a consolidating bull. We are in a bullish market. It still exists. That's why I said we are not in a bear market. Do not let anybody tell you we are in a bear market. If they do, it's all BS. It's all before Steve shared with you what Bob was telling you. We are in a consolidating bull market, and consolidations are very hard to trade. Look, okay, a little bottom yesterday, up nicely today, Monday, Sunday night, Monday could be a whole different picture. Here's no real momentum inside of this consolidating market. Very tricky, very tricky. In this case here, inside the 30-year Treasury, and I'll take a look at the weekly outlook is kind of my intermediate term time frame, but knowing and Look, the other thing is this tells us where you've got resistance inside of bonds, tells you where you've got resistance and you have support out here. And it's the reason why I went ahead and I overrode the switch today, knowing that that resistance was out there and just simply went back to a neutral. Now, this shows you what the status conditions are inside of the ETF structures. And you know how well I like to use those for trying to identify what the market is doing. Not. What we do is we use the equity futures contract. If you're going to ask me, if there's one thing, there was one thing that you did, change that you made, something that you learned that helped you because you're saying to yourself, I'd like to get to that number one. I'd like to do what you've done. You've proven you can do it. So how do I do it? I would tell you, you better invest in pattern recognition and take a look at what's going on inside the equity futures contracts, especially if you are trading just simply the indices, whichever version, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. Do not make your decisions off of the ETFs because you can make better decisions. I'm not saying they don't provide useful information. I'm saying they don't provide useful information. Not as useful as something that's taking like a 23 hours worth of data out there, especially from a pattern recognition standpoint. I guarantee you, can I say that? I guarantee you that when the markets were doing what they were doing yesterday, we could not have made those same calls. We could not have made those same calls by looking at a 5-hour chart for the QQQs out there. The pattern would not have existed. Nor would it have inside a 5-hour chart. Are you kidding me? A 5-hour chart for the Qs out there when it trades for 6.5 hours? What good is a 5-hour chart for the Qs out there? It's all about price discovery in these patterns here, which I teach and, those folks that are subscribers out there. And I'm pretty impassioned about what it is that I do. You can sort of tell, right? You show me somebody without passion, and then I'll show you somebody I'm not going to follow. That's for sure. In any event, let's continue on because there is something for you to focus on and pay attention to today. With regard to, so whether you're a bull or a bear, right, you're a consolidating market, you can say, hey, Steve-O, you just said, hey, you can go up 2 days and then down the next day. You can. So what's a level? Let's say you're long or short. Let's say you're a conservative trader. I don't know, whatever kind of trader you are. What is it that you're going to look at today for some type of confirming signal? And the answer, my friend, is not blowing in the wind. It's on a screen, just not Stevie's screen, because I don't have the data feed right now. But somebody out there can tell me, where is the spot volatility index trading? Is it trading above 1476 or below 1476? Now, I know that because we've had data during the day that's this level, which is the 50-day EME. That's why the 1476 is the number I'm using. Maybe it's 1474 right now. I don't know. But just let's use 1476 as the number. If at the end of the day, the spot volatility index is closed below the 50-day exponential moving average, odds favor that price is going to move higher. Because the S&P, when I say price, I'm referring to the S&P 500 now. The S&P 500 has its most bullish moves higher when it trades below the 50-day exponential moving average. Now, what happens if it closes above 1476 or the 50-day today? Then both the bulls and bears are kept hanging. They are. And hey, if you close below 1476 today, I'm no mathematician, but I guarantee you it's a one-day rate of change below minus 10%. And that marks an initiation move higher in the markets. So just one thing, Curly, one thing that you have to focus on today. Where does the spot volatility index close? Whoop, great.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. The Taz Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the Taz Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Taz Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the Taz Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. This is a treat. We've got a caller. Even with the system being down, we have a co-host. And one of the best co-hosts that you can have. It's John from Philly, otherwise, a.k.a. Mr. Z inside the Tiger's Den. John, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
Steve, well, I'm well. By the way, I congratulate you on doing your program on the fly. For what it's worth, there are massive disruptions and telecommunications going on across the country as we speak.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense.
I run multiple internet feeds and multiple brokerages, and a couple are affected and a couple are not. So
no kidding. Well,
thank you for that. Right now, the S&P futures are at 2740, hanging near the highs.
Okay.
And my cable TV feed is down, so there's no news coming in, but I report that to you.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, well, that makes it easier. Now at least I kind of understand a bit. And I've got my data feed on another of my trading platforms, no problem. But it doesn't feed my charts. That's the problem. You know?
There we go. Say, Steve, I wanted to ask you a very specific question. Since you do such thorough work on divining the intermediate term trend in markets, the question is this: on the S&P, please, what conditions can you envision happening, or what conditions would have to happen that would lead your work to conclude the S&P is in something other than a sideways consolidation, waiting to launch higher? In other words,
pretty simple.
The decline scenario. What is it you need to see that would suggest to you that is in fact the likely outcome, please?
So I don't know how this works, but I do believe life happens for you, and you must be an angel, because your question is about the only question that I could answer right now. And the reason is because I happen to have, before the system shut down, a weekly chart for the S&P 500, kind of our intermediate term time frame. And when the S&P 500 topped a couple of weeks ago, it did it with John, by the way, for those of you that don't know Mr. Z or John, he is a master of pattern recognition, a number of different tools and systems out there for many years, and John can fill in the blank with regard to how many years. He has been a student, master student of Tom DeMark's system. And so to answer that question, John, what Tommy's setup system did from a weekly standpoint 2 weeks back was it got to that 9 count. Now, I know that you don't typically trade those 9 counts. You trade the 913s. You look for the sequential buy and sell signals out there. But I also focus on that 9 count. In order for the market to tell me it wants to really move higher, we're going to break out and at least go test the consolidation highs, I need to see it close above the high from 2 weeks ago, above that 9 count. Preferably, it'd actually be a close above the swing point from the week of March 16th. That's really not the number that the TD setup system would look at. It would look at a close above the June 15th high of about 27.91, because then when you, as you know, and folks, for those of you that don't know, in Tommy DeMark's system out here, when you get to 9, oftentimes the market is going to do something different. But in a market that has a lot of momentum, price will move beyond that level out there, just as it did really as the 9 count was being made back in November of 2017. That answers the question, what do I need to see in order for this to move higher? What do I need to see in order for this to move lower? At this stage here, I would settle for the fact that we're headed down towards the bottom of the consolidation with a close below probably the week of June 1st. That low is 27.67. John and I like to also use, and I don't want to speak on your behalf, John, but we also like to just simply take a look at these retracements. Are they making higher lows or lower highs out here? Now, if we take a look at it from a weekly perspective, folks, from February 9th, you'll see that the next low that really came in was April 6th, a higher low. The next low that came in after that was on May 4th, a higher low than the one from April 6th. What's the next low, in essence, that came in? Maybe what we'd be looking at is that June 1st level out here. And then this week, even a higher low out there. So, and we can see that we happen to have at least now one lower high, the one from March 16th. That's when I said, hey, if price gets above that, tells me we go back to the consolidation. And then the little doji candle from June 15th, that high happens to be a slightly lower high. All of this just really supports the consolidation, and it's a big, wide range out there. There's no question about it. So that's what I would. That's the only way I can answer that question, at least with regard to a chart, so that people and yourself could actually follow along with what I'm looking at.
Steve, well, thank you very much. I see that. Just to let you know, in my attempts the past 45 minutes to go to the TFNN website and access the Tiger's Den, I'm shut out. I can see, however, your show via the feed off of the YouTube stream. So I see your charts, and anybody who's doing the same will also have that benefit. So thank you very much. I see what you're referring to.
Hey, John, I think we have no choice, but or maybe I have no choice, and that is I was wondering, should I go golfing early today or not?
Yes, you should.
I think, yeah. I'm not going to be bothered by the technical storm out there.
Absolutely right. Say, Steve, I also wanted to just touch base with you, please, and perhaps I could hold through that upcoming advertisement break.
Yeah.
But to talk and discuss what we're seeing right at this minute in regard to the precious metals mining equities vis-a-vis the gold and the silver price. Steve, big money is moving right now as we speak, and you can see that the price of the streaming companies. That would be Royal Gold, Wheaton Precious Metals, and Franco-Nevada are moving strongly. And a couple of the well-capitalized miners, Pan American Silver, Newmont, even Barrick, Goldcorp, and Agnico Eagle are moving. And Steve, these equities, the buyers in these equities are moving with decisive action, committing capital here when we're not seeing anything in COMEX gold and silver. And of course, the fortunes, the profits, the sales growth of those entities are dependent upon the price they sell their gold, their silver at.
Sure.
And these equities are moving today, or the buyers seem to be bidding up the price of these equities as if the COMEX price that we see on our screens of gold and silver is not the real price, as if gold and silver bullion is actually much more valuable.
Okay.
It's,
well, let's talk about that a little bit for 2 minutes when we come back from the breakout there. And thanks for bringing all this information to our attention. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. My co-host, John Shady, will be back in just a few, folks.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender. Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's TigerTV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
This is David White. Stay tuned because coming up next is the Power Trading Hour right here on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. We're on the line with John in Philly. And just before we went to that break, what John was asking about is we could just kind of discuss the mining equities, what he's seen, which is good volume coming in behind a number of equities. John, what I have on my screen right now, and I understand you're able to at least follow along with this through the TigerTV application, this was as of 2 days ago. So as soon as the gold contract went into your favorite wave and mine, wave number G, number 7 out there, I began telling subscribers, hey, we need to start looking at the mining equities out here, just in case we see some kind of a bottom. Now, as of a couple of days ago, and here I have the Bob system, bullish or bearish, and it outlines, and I'm really focused right now on the daily outlook here, and it shows the strongest and the weakest stocks, what their support or resistance levels were out here. And if we take a look at the ones that were the strongest, or ones that were at least a consolidating bull, you had Agnico Eagle, First Majestic, I think you said AEM was moving higher. You had Yamana Gold, strong one, El Dorado Gold, so I don't know how that is behaving today. You had McEwen Mining. I would imagine if they're moving higher today, that one too is moving higher. One of the strongest equities out here was Pan American Silver. And the Bob system, which basically is my system for being able to identify turns or momentum moves out here, Pan American Silver was in the strong bull camp. That was the strongest of the stocks that were out there. Royal Gold was a consolidating bull, very similar to the S&P being in a consolidation mode right now, just on a long-term basis, on a monthly chart out there. And then Wheaton Precious Metals. So some of those are the stocks that you had mentioned where you're starting to see big flows in, and it really matches along the way that my system was tracking what these equities are doing. But what does it mean? You tell me in the next 10 seconds. What do you think?
Yeah, Steve, well, thanks for this update. We all need to keep track of this. I put some money to work myself since 11 a.m. on this, just in party and closing. Thank you. And Wheaton Precious Metals and Royal Gold, 2 streaming companies, are both right at their highs for the year, poised to extend and break out. Have a good weekend,
That's great.
Steve.
You too. Thanks. Thanks, folks. Stay tuned for David White, who'll be up next.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.